positive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and welcome to all your latest Chelsea transfer news. Big up to everyone that's already locked in. Make sure you're smashing the likes, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And as always, leave your thoughts in the chat. We've got a packed show, plenty to dive into. The latest on the pursuit of Mohammed Kudus. Chelsea are involved in a 3-club race for the Ghana international. Chelsea are exploring the situation surrounding Mohammed Kudus. Spurs are seriously accelerating their pursuit. They want him as a priority target. Chelsea remain interested, keeping a close eye on the situation. We've got the latest on Noni Madueke as well, with Ben Jacobs reporting that Chelsea could entertain offers in excess of £45 million plus add-ons, for Madueke. And Fabrizio adding on that no proposals have been sent to Chelsea from Arsenal for Madueke. However, there is a report from L'Equipe that's dropped in the last sort of 5-10 minutes or so, suggesting that Arsenal have submitted an offer for Noni Madueke. We're going to dive into the latest there. We've got the latest on the future of Carney Chukwuemeka as well, and loads of other little bits and pieces to dive into. So big up everyone that's locked in. We've got the latest on Malek Fofana as well, by the way, with Chelsea still looking at adding another attacker to their squad. But before we say hello to anyone, chat, just a quick reminder. Make sure you check out Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description, chat. Link is in the description. Make sure you're looking fresh in next season's Chelsea home shirt or away shirt. Great quality, affordable prices, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want, on the back and on the sleeve. 20% off using code BLUEBROTHER. Link is in the description. Jersey'sFCSoccerShop.com, chat. Right then, enough about that. Let's get this show on the road. Let's say hello to a few people and then we will get going. By the way, chat, am I looking a bit dark? Am I looking a bit dark, chat? You know, it feels like I'm looking a bit darker than normal. Am I looking darker than normal, chat? Not my skin complexion in terms of the just on the screen. Anyway, let's say hello to a few people. I hope we get Kudos and I hope he picks Chelsea because we'll have a better chance. Yep. No, it's not £45 million for Kudos. That's not the case. What do you think about going after David Alaba as a backup left back? Bro, he's not going to leave Real Madrid. We should get Kudos locked up as soon as possible. Brian, I agree. Yes, big up, brother. Yeah, we're going to dive into this one. Yes, big up the Chelsea. Can't wait for Friday night 3 a.m. game. Yep, wonderful. Yes, big up. All good. You look African. No, fair. I mean, I think that's one thing I'm definitely not been compared to before. But yeah, I don't know why it's looking a bit. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, we'll roll with it anyway. We'll roll with it. But let's get into the major. Let's start with Noni Madueke again, chat, because this seems to be one that's kind of dominating headlines at the moment, along with Mohammed Kudus. But let's start with Noni Madueke because there has been a report from L'Equipe, and they state, despite this being shut down by Fabrizio yesterday when Florian Plettenberg reported it, L'Equipe are also saying that Chelsea have made an offer for Noni Madueke. I accept that shit. Are we going to get it? The Gunners are reportedly keen to discuss... Oh, no, we don't want that. The Gunners don't intend to stop there. They have made an offer to Chelsea for right winger Noni Madueke, the amount of which has not been disclosed. So L'Equipe are saying that Arsenal have submitted an offer to Chelsea for Noni Madueke, the amount of which is undisclosed. But we've got Fabrizio saying that Arsenal have held talks to understand the situation of Noni Madueke last week, They've not sent a proposal and nothing's changed in terms of negotiations. Now, we know that Madueke is an option on the right-hand side for Arsenal, or just an option in general for Arsenal, chat. But I'm not quite sure where this information is coming from, because L'Equipe in France, a very respectable outlet, the biggest sports outlet in France, where's that information coming from? Because I refuse to believe that a respectable publication like L'Equipe would just totally make that up. That can't just be completely fabricated. Oh, we'll just whack that in there, and we'll just say that Arsenal have made an offer for Madueke. I don't believe that to be. I don't believe that to be the case at all. So there must be something in this. There must be something in this. And I do think they're seriously interested, chat. I do think they're seriously interested in Madueke, perhaps more than's being let on. Perhaps more than's being let on. But I just don't see them paying that money. Because then we had an update from Ben Jacobs stating that... with an update from Ben Jacobs on the situation here. This was more of an Arsenal update about Rodrigo, but Noni Madueke is another idea on the right-hand side, but no offer has been made yet to player or Chelsea. Maresca still values Madueke. However, Chelsea could entertain bids of £45 million plus with add-ons on top, especially if they secure another attacker. Now, that to me, the way that reads, in my opinion, chat, is that Chelsea don't need to sell Madueke before they bring another attacker in. They could look to bring another attacker in and then deal with the situation surrounding Madueke or someone else afterwards. So I don't think that bringing bringing another attacker in, whether it's a Kudos or Malik Fofana, whoever it might be, I don't think bringing another attacker in, chat, is going to needs to happen. That's not. I don't think we need to sell someone in order for that to happen. I just think get the player in, and then we'll deal with moving players out after we've done that. Because if we genuinely want Kudos, we can't. I don't think we're in a position to be able to wait until we've offloaded Madueke and then move for Kudos, because it will probably be too late by then. It'll probably be too late by then, chat, for us to for us to do that. Bro, we're not going to accept less than the money for Gittins. We're simply not. If Gittins was £55 million all in, there's no way Chelsea accept less than that for Madueke. Madueke, at a bare minimum, is £55 million total package. Bare minimum. So if it's 45 and 10, or it's 50 and 5, or whatever it might be, Madueke is no way worth less than Gittins. No, absolutely no way. So yeah, bro, we're definitely not in for Eze. We're not in for Eze. I think that's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear we're not in for Eze. Kudos is the one that we're definitely in for. But this Madueke saga and scenario is it's going to rumble on. I think it's very, very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Very, very interesting. I mean, you do have to be careful what you wish for, chap. Of course you do. And as we've discussed yesterday on the show, the grass is not always greener. The grass is not always greener. We have to be honest there, chat. It's not always greener with Madueke. But Chelsea, if Madueke wants to leave, I don't see Jackson going. It's a long summer still, and there's a lot going on still. But I don't expect I don't expect Jackson to leave. I suspect it will be. I suspect Madueke out the attackers chat, right? I expect Nkunku, Felix, and Madueke to be the three that leave. I think Nkunku, Madueke, and Felix will leave. Those will be the three that leave. No, as I said yesterday, if Kudos comes in as a replacement, I haven't got an issue with it. But my issue is if you sell Noni and you bring in someone worse. But it looks like we are in for Kudos. And if Madueke has to be sacrificed in order to get Kudos in, then I don't particularly have an issue with that. I don't particularly have an issue with that at all. Look, obviously, I would prefer to get Kudos. I prefer to get Kudos. I think that's very, very clear and very, very obvious. Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. It's not super toxic for Jackson at all. I think there's that perception. Like, obviously, fans get annoyed. Obviously, fans get annoyed by players and stuff, but I don't think that it's toxic for Jackson whatsoever. You know, he's let the team down with a couple of red cards, and it's up to him to repay them for letting them down. And then nothing more than that. I don't view it as toxic at all for Nicholas Jackson. Joe, I think you probably might be on your own on that one. I don't think there's many people that will be in agreement with you there. Well, yeah, this is a potential worry. This is absolutely a potential worry. Bro, just because you're from certain countries doesn't mean you can't find stuff out. It doesn't mean you can't find stuff out. If you are well connected, it doesn't matter if you're a French journalist or you're a German journalist or you're a journalist from fucking God knows where. It doesn't matter. It's about the contacts you have. It's not about like, oh, by the way, a French journalist can't know anything about English transfers. That just isn't the case. Now, by the way, I'm not saying that this is true. Exactly. Fabrice Hawkins, exactly that. Fabrice Hawkins is one of the best out there. He was the one that first broke Pedro Neto, first broke all the Gittin stuff about being agreed. He was the first on Wesley Fofana to Chelsea. Fabrice Hawkins is exceptional. And so, yeah, it doesn't make a difference. In general or from Chelsea? If you're talking in general, I think yes. If you're talking from Chelsea, I would be surprised. I would be surprised if there was an offer for Kudos coming in from Chelsea. I would be surprised in the next few days. Well, yeah, we are fucked, which is why someone needs to come in. So, yeah, look, Madueke offers of 45 million pounds plus add-ons would potentially be considered for him. It makes sense. But it makes sense only if Kudos comes in. Potentially an offer has gone in for Madueke from Arsenal, but I don't think so. But I do also agree, chat, that 45 million plus add-ons does seem pretty low. When you look at the market for the type of players like Madueke, and if the going rate for a player like Madueke is probably 55, 60 million. And we'd be selling to a direct rival as well. So if you added rival tax on, you probably are looking at a going rate for Madueke of 60, 65 million. Now, I'm not saying we'd ever get that or we'd be demanding that, but that for me, with where the market is and where players of a similar ability to Madueke have gone for, then Madueke is worth 60 odd million, probably. That's just the reality. That's just the reality, chat. Yeah, and this journalist is Loic Tanzi, who has reported this. He, again, is pretty good as well. You know, he's pretty good on certain things. Like, no one's comparing Jackson to Drogba. It's in terms of footballing ability. But it is true what Concerned is saying in the chat, that Drogba wasn't liked by Chelsea fans very much at all in the early stage of his career. And he was very, very close to leaving the football club after that first season. He was very, very close to leaving the football club. So, I mean, I do question some people's ability to read or understand things in the chat sometimes. I really do. You know, no one is... I'm not sure how you can read these comments and think that no one's... that ability is being compared. It is a similar situation in terms of... Well, the reason why Kepa went for 5 million is because he signed a 1-year contract extension, went on loan to Bournemouth, so he didn't lose him on a free. And then there was a £5 million release clause in his deal. That's why he went for 5 million. So there we are. So there we are. And what's this Dodgers tweet? If it's about Madueke, then I've already seen it. But let's have a look anyway. Yeah, it's about, I don't know if Arsenal have or haven't. Who knows? Yeah, he did. No, we've seen that. We've done that. So yeah, look, Madueke, potential offer from Arsenal for Chelsea, undisclosed what the amount is. Whether that is or isn't true, I don't know. Only time will tell on that front, chat. Only time will tell on that front. But that is the latest on Noni Madueke. But let's get to the crux of things with Mohammed Kudus, because this is the transfer saga that I feel now is really starting to take shape, is really one to watch, and is probably going to be the next big transfer this summer. And let's take a look at it on Kudos. Because according to Fabrizio Romano, Tottenham are seriously working for Mohammed Kudus. We know that. We know Tottenham are seriously working for Kudos. He is their priority target, chat. Priority target. And are speaking to his camp. Chelsea remains interested and are keeping a close eye on the situation with other clubs. Let's wait. Let's see what they decide. So I think the situation here with Tottenham is that they're looking to steal a march and get a deal done quickly, because they know whether it's Chelsea, Man United, whether it's Newcastle coming to the table, if they have to fight, if they have to have a straight shootout with the likes of Chelsea, they know that Kudos won't be choosing them. They know Kudos won't choose them. If it comes to a choice between Spurs and Chelsea. So Spurs are trying to get ahead of the game, trying to get in there early and trying to get a deal wrapped up for Kudos before anyone else seriously comes to the table for him. Now, Ben Jacobs has provided more information on Mohammed Kudus, and Spurs view Mohammed Kudus as the top priority. They believe West Ham will sell for around £60 million, despite Kudus' £85 million Premier League specific clause, which expires after July 10th. Kudus also offered to Chelsea and Man United by West Ham. Now, £60 million. Again, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're looking for, chat. as I said, all these kinds of players, your Joao Pedros, your Gittenses, these kind of guys, the going rate in this market seems to be about £60 million for these kind of players. It seems to be 60 million quid. It seems to be the going rate. And yeah, no one was ever paying 85. No one was going to pay 70 million. 60 million, I think, is fair. If Chelsea were able to do a fee of 55 plus 5, you look at Mbeumo going for is probably going to go for that kind of amount. Pedro's gone for that amount. Gittins has gone for just under that. These kind of players, the going rate is around 60 million quid. And I actually think that 60 million pounds is a fair asking price. I think it's a fair asking price, chat, for Kudos. Fair asking price. Do you know what's interesting, right, chap? Do you know what's interesting? And only time will tell whether this is going to work or not. But the reality is that we're basically changing 3/4 of the attack. Because look how many attacking signings we've made already. Delap, Pedro, and Gittins are all in. Esteval's coming in as well. Sancho's gone. Mudrik's out the picture. Madueke might leave. Like we're changing like 4, 5, 6 players again. We're changing 4, 5, 6 players again in the team. Like, you know, you do have to wonder why. What is it Maresca saw in the attack last season that he just didn't really rate it at all? That he didn't really rate it at all. What's he seen in the attack that he's just not liking, chat? That's the interesting thing for me. What is he seeing in this attack that he's not liking? Because it looks like it could be Madueke, Sancho's out, and Guiu's obviously going to go on loan. Mudrik's out the picture. It's interesting as to why so many changes are being made in attack. I honestly, I don't think that he's going to leave at all. I don't think he's going to leave at all, Jackson. Bro, this is the problem, right? Is that people have just got a real lack of critical thinking capabilities. A real lack of critical thinking capabilities. Why do people always judge a player based off one season? One bad season in a shit West Ham team doesn't make you a shit player. Just like one good season doesn't mean you're unbelievable. We have to move away from this idea that a player's only as good as their last season. And if they're shit last season, it means they're a shit player. Like we've got to stop doing this. We've got to stop doing this as fans. Like, he didn't have a good season last season. We know that. But everyone knows that Kudos is not shit. Kudos is not a shit player. And he would be a big improvement to this Chelsea squad. We know that. We know that. And the problem is that too many people just judge players on GNA and don't look at anything else. And they only look at, oh, they're a shit season, therefore they're shit. I mean, it's just mad. It really is mad. Yeah, bro, the Club World Cup taxing was an excuse. You know, they just didn't want to pay the money for Mignan, and then they made up some bullshit excuse about Club World Cup tax. Yeah, but attackers will leave. Nkunku and Felix are definitely going. Guiu's on his way out on loan. That's 3 gone. Sancho's gone. Mudrik's out of the picture. So that's already 5 attackers that were there last season that are gone. Pedro's not coming in to be a number 9. Pedro's not coming in to be a number 9. Like, all the reports are saying that Pedro is going to be the replacement for Nkunku. He can be an option at number 9, but he's not coming in to play as a number 9. He can definitely be an option at 9, but he's not coming in to be a number 9. We know that Kudos don't want to be at West Ham anymore. We know that. We know that. And there's also information now as well, by the way, more information on Noni Madueke. More information, chat, because another club is reportedly coming to the table. And it's our friends. It's our good friends. Our good friends over in Spain. Our good friends over in Spain, chat. Atletico Madrid. We will get back to Mr. Mohammed Kudus, but we're just going to quickly go over to our friends in Madrid. Our good friends who fleeced us and had our pants down with a dog shit deal for Joao Felix. Our good friends in Madrid. Hello, my friends. Nico Jackson and Madueke. Oh, this is interesting here. Nico Jackson and Madueke will leave Chelsea this summer almost certainly, according to Eduardo Burgos. Maybe I'm chatting shit then. Maybe I'm chatting shit. I'm just giving my opinion, but maybe my opinion is totally wrong. And man like Eduardo is the oracle here. Anyway, so he's saying that Nico Jackson and Madueke will leave Chelsea this summer almost certainly. Several Premier League clubs and Spanish teams, Atletico Madrid, have inquired about the striker. Madueke is a target for Arsenal, but in Spain, they see him as a market opportunity. So, I mean, to be fair, this Eduardo Burgos, he's actually not that bad. He's not like 100% on everything, but he's also by no accounts shit at all. On the no account is he dog shit. You know, he's pretty good. He's not like, you know, take everything he says as gospel level. He's not on those levels. If you put it this way, chat, you know, if you've got Ornstein and Romano and whatnot in the Champions League spots, I would say that Burgos is like maybe sort of that Europa League / Conference League level. You know, has a few good moments. I don't think he's not like absolutely spot on, but he's not terrible either. So this could be interesting. Yeah, I'd maybe go 60-40. I'd maybe go 60-40 on Eduardo. I'd go 60-40, chat. But it's interesting that I wonder what information he's getting that Nico Jackson will almost certainly leave this summer. That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. Because nobody else has said that Jackson is certain to leave Chelsea this summer. All they've said is that Chelsea's asking price is really high. Clubs in Italy, this is from Romano, by the way, clubs in Italy cannot afford Nico Jackson. They'd be able to offer about £40 million, and that won't get to the table. So what information is he getting? What information is he getting? We know about Madueke. We know about Madueke, but neither Madueke or Jackson are actively for sale. Chelsea are not looking to sell Madueke or Jackson. But if suitable offers came in that were high enough, they would be considered. Okay. So it's I don't know. It's a very interesting one, chat. A very, very interesting one. Because Nico Jackson has been linked with clubs in Spain before. And as I said it on a show maybe over the weekend, that I feel that in an ideal situation, in an ideal world, Chelsea would like to get rid of Nico Jackson and replace him with Hugo Ekitike. This is what I said a few days ago. And I still feel that's the case. Now, I think Maresca is a big fan of Nico Jackson. I think he likes him a lot. I think he does like him a lot, chat. By the way, chat, we're 25 likes away from 100 likes. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do, and it really, really helps out. So please do smash up the likes and keep subscribing if you're new round here. We're 35 subs away from 17.2. Let's keep it stepping, chat. Let's keep it stepping. So smash up the likes and keep subscribing if you're new. Yeah, bro, Felix is not going to go West Ham. Felix has got interest from Benfica, although they can't afford him, reportedly. And he's got interest from Saudi Arabia as well. Al Nassr and Saudi new boys in the Pro League, Neom SC, who've just signed Bolka, the Nice keeper, and they've just signed Alexandre Lacazette as well. Have they spoke about Neto asking price? Bro, Neto's not for sale. What are you talking about? No, Neto's not leaving this summer. Yeah, I don't know if Atletico Madrid have got that money to spend this summer. I don't know if they do. I'll have to think about that and get back to you, bro. I like the Jackson-Delap combo, not going to lie. One's a good finisher, one has better link-up and pace. Yeah, look, I think the two complement each other well because they're two totally different profiles, and you don't want the same profiles in attack. You want to be able to switch things up. So if one comes off the bench, they can give you just something totally different. Totally different. I mean, doesn't show up in the big games, but scored the crucial second goal in the Conference League final. Not team players. I don't know where people get this idea from that they're selfish. Like, people just either just take everything they read on social media as truth, or they're just agenda merchants. Because let's not make shit up. What are we basing this selfishness on? I don't get it. I really don't. Really don't get it, chat. Oh, yeah, but it's because you wrote Neto in the thing rather than Noni. I think I still believe that's the most likely situation. However, we do have to acknowledge that it's not entirely, chat. It's not entirely beyond the realms of possibility. Bro, that's not selfish. Like, all players want to take penalties, you know, and they want to score and whatnot. You know, that was just, you know, a bit of a lack of maturity. Shouldn't have happened. It was a bit of petulance. It's not selfish. Yeah, look, he's let himself down discipline-wise, but you could say the same for Liam Delap, the most booked player in the Premier League last season. I don't think he got sent off in any games, but no player picked up more yellow cards than Delap last season. So let's wait and see. Bro, we're not getting Alvarez. We need to rein this shit in. We are not getting Alvarez, chat. We're not getting Alvarez. Let's not be silly now, guys. Let's not be silly, chat. We're not getting Alvarez. Right, what's this Dodgers tweet? For some reason, the Dodgers timeline's not loading. It's only showing shit from 12 hours ago. But I imagine it's what we're discussing now anyway. But in theory, right, if both these guys left, chat, if both of these guys left, then I imagine the replacements potentially would be Kudos and Ekitike. Now, do we think that Madueke and Jackson out and Kudos and Ekitike in, is that a huge upgrade in both areas? Is that a huge upgrade? Again, Kudos and Fofana is potentially more likely, although if you sell Jackson, you do need to bring in another centre forward. And Kudos is not a centre forward, and neither is Malik Fofana. So there's a few issues there. There's a few issues there as well. I mean, look, Ekitike could well join Liverpool. He could well join Liverpool. But again, that depends on them being able to move on Darwin Núñez. I think at some point they will move on Darwin Núñez this summer. But yeah, so far he's not gone on. So far he's not moved on. And that's what we're looking at. Nah, bro, the Al Hilal was a shameless celebration for them knocking out Man City. Shameless celebration for them knocking out Man City. But yeah, let's see what they've got in store for us. Because it probably will be Chelsea versus... Well, it probably will be Chelsea against Al Hilal in the semi-finals, which would be a repeat of our Club World Cup success from a few years back. That'll be the same final. The same final. Bro, we're not going to. But we're not. This is what we need to stop doing, chat. These things are not going to happen. These things simply are not happening, chat. Not happening. Bro, Isak, we're not getting involved in any bidding war for Isak. I don't think anybody can afford Alexander Isak. I don't think anyone can afford to sign Isak this summer. Isak won't be going anywhere this summer, I don't believe. Ugh. Nah, bro, Sesko's not coming. Sesko's not coming. He's not. Yeah, it could. This is the thing with Ekitike, right? I don't think it would be straight away, but it could be in a few years. It could be in a few years. But I agree, it isn't straight away. Look, Ekitike's clearly got talent and ability, but with the price that they're asking for, I personally don't see value. I personally don't see value in that. I really don't. I personally don't see value. I just don't look at him as value for money, chat. I don't see him as value for money at all. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I still don't see both of them leaving. I think one leaves, but I don't think both. I don't think both. But that is food for thought, and that is something very, very interesting to be keeping an eye on, because I think clubs could certainly try. By the way, I think clubs will try for Jackson, but whether the financial demands are acceptable to Chelsea, we have to wait and see. Madueke, I think, is a different scenario, and I think he definitely will. I think there's probably a 70-80% chance that he does leave. I think there's a 70-80% chance that he does leave. But we will see. We will see, chat. But let's get back to this Mohammed Kudus stuff, though, because that's where we were before that Jackson and Madueke news appeared. So the situation Chelsea have got now is, do they really like Kudos that much that... Do Chelsea like Kudos enough to just go and try and bring him in and then worry about offloading someone else afterwards? Or do we have other options that we're happy to explore and we'd rather offload someone first? This is ultimately what it's going to come down to. Are Chelsea prepared to bring Kudos in before selling anyone? Because at the moment, Spurs they haven't got a free run, but they're definitely, I would say, leading the race at this point in time. I would say they're leading the race right now, but it's a 3-club race. And if it's Chelsea, if it's Man United, if it's this, if it's that, I don't know. I would have to... If Kudos just goes to Spurs and he doesn't wait for anyone else to come in or any other offers, I'd have to question the mentality of someone that would want to join Spurs for a supposed big player. Because you know that Spurs don't win shit. I know they won the Europa League last season, and that's all great for them. Fantastic. Well done, lads. But that was very much an anomaly and a one-off. Kudos joining Spurs, I don't know what reasoning Kudos would be joining Spurs for. I think the only thing that at Spurs there'd be more of for Kudos is probably minutes. But having said that, if Madueke leaves, Kudos would get very decent minutes at Chelsea as well. So I'm not entirely sure what the situation is here with Spurs. So with Kudos and Spurs. What is it about Spurs that would appeal to Kudos? What is it? Bro, Spurs won't get Eze. Spurs won't get Eze. I think Eze to Arsenal it's not done by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that could well be one that's on the way to getting done. Could well be one on the way to getting done. 100% it could be. Thing is, though, like, generally speaking nowadays, clubs don't agree a fee for a player unless they've got the buy-in. Because if the player's not open to the move, it is completely pointless agreeing a fee with the clubs. So clubs will get player buy-in, and then they will go and try and agree a fee. Very rarely do you see a fee agreed. If a fee's agreed before an agreement's reached with a player, it generally means that move's not going to happen because that player's not keen on it. But I think if Chelsea want Kudos, we have to get him in the next week. In the next week or 10 days, Chelsea need to get Kudos because West Ham need to sell before they can buy, and they don't want to be fucking about. Pre-season starts up next week for a lot of teams. They want to have money to spend, and West Ham have constructed their squad so badly that really their only sellable asset is Kudos. And so they need to sell him quickly so they can go and reinvest that money in the squad. Spurs need signings. Spurs need signings as well. Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And that's the way I think we have to operate, chap. That's the way I think we have to operate. I think we have to go for him now and then worry about the rest later. We're not selling Fofana because he's our best centre back when he's fit. However, if he has another season where he misses a lot of football, then there's a situation. Then there's a situation. Yeah, I think he would get more game time at Chelsea as well than Arsenal, because he's literally only going to play if Saka's injured or in shitty League Cup matches. No, the release clause for Kudos is only active in the first 10 days of July. So after that, the release clause is no longer active. And West Ham know that no one's going to activate the release clause because it's too much money. And so they will wait until the release clause is no longer there. So it's not about, that isn't a red flag because he's not worth £85 million. They just put that clause in there. It's active for the first 10 days of July, and then it's no longer active, and actual market value will be had, which is 60 million. £85 million is not market value. A release clause doesn't equal market value. Esteval's not gonna play the whole time. Possibly. I do really like Jarrod Bowen. I do very much like Jarrod Bowen. So yeah, maybe you would do that. Maybe you would do that. Well, they're not sold right now, but that's definitely the plan this summer, is to shift them on. That's 100% the plan this summer, is to shift them on. Yeah, bro, we've done that. We've done this with the Jackson Madueke stuff. 60 million would get Kudos. We don't need to throw Carney in as well. 60 million gets Kudos. Will get Kudos. Exactly that. But again, Madueke is not going to go to West Ham. Obviously, of course, if he was open to going to West Ham, then you would look to do something. But Noni is much better than West Ham level. Much better than West Ham level. Yeah. Bowen's not leaving West Ham. Bowen's not leaving West Ham. I would imagine it would be Dario Asugu. I'd imagine he goes Asugu. Unless he goes Enzo and Lavia in midfield and he plays as someone else further forward. But if he sticks with the same system, then I think it will be Dario Asugu to come in for Caicedo. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're well. Big up, bro. So yeah, we have to see. Yes, all good, bro. All good. So that's kind of where we're at with this whole situation in regards to the race for Mohammed Kudus. Spurs are working really hard. He's their main target. Chelsea interested and keeping an eye on the situation. So really, it's going to come down to who does Kudus want. Yeah, Bolga to Saudi. I don't know why there was a report saying that he was an option for Chelsea. He was never an option for Chelsea. But Bolka has gone to Neom in Saudi, newly promoted club to the Saudi Pro League. Big ambition, backed by the Public Investment Fund. They're looking to do serious things. But yeah, that's the concern. That is the concern. But I'm hoping he's moved away from that, and I'm hoping he's learnt from that. That doesn't work. And if he does do recent midfield, then he has to play Acheampong at right back. But we know that he won't do that. He would have to play Acheampong at right back, but we know that wouldn't be the case, chat. We know that wouldn't be the case, which is a concern. Chat, we're on just under 300 in the building, only 116 likes. Let's smash up the likes, get this to 200, chat. Yeah, it really helps me out more than you can imagine. So yeah, smash up the likes. Mods, let me know when we've reached 200 likes. But yeah, let's get this up to 200, chat. Should be light work with the amount of people in the building. And keep subscribing as well if you're new round here. But let's smash up these likes. Let's get it to 200. Yeah, look, I agree that if it's the case of sorting the defence out and the goalkeeper, I'd rather do that than bring another attacker in. I think you're looking at Ekitike and you're probably looking at Malik Fofana as well. Will Pedro play in the Club World Cup? Yeah, potentially. He's going to be registered in the squad. Yeah. Yep, seen this, bro. Interesting. I'd be surprised if Jackson went straight back into the team, but we'll see. Because I don't think we can afford him. I don't think we can afford him. Or it's not that we can't afford him. It's that, you know, we don't think he's worth the money that it would cost, basically. I think is that. Yeah, he's in the squad. I'd be surprised if he played on Friday, just because I don't know if he's even had any training sessions yet. I'd be surprised if he played on Friday. But yeah, let's quickly. There's one other thing on attack, and then we will move to goalkeeper and defence because there's a few updates on that as well, chat. So this is from Romano's podcast. Chelsea are still looking at some attacking options. Malik Fofana is one. Also in December and January, Chelsea and United spoke about Garnacho and Nkunku. There are options for Chelsea, but also sales are going to be important. So Malik Fofana is still an option for Chelsea. Now, still an option for Chelsea. Now, Nottingham Forest have actually agreed a deal with Lyon, but given Lyon have been relegated to the second tier of French football, pending an appeal, it's not difficult to agree a deal. I could agree a deal with Lyon for a player because they're desperate. So just because a deal's been agreed, it doesn't really mean shit all. It doesn't really mean anything, chap. And Fofana is waiting for a Champions League club. Napoli, Bayern Munich, Chelsea believed to be interested. Now, the only reason why I think Chelsea don't go for Malik Fofana is I'm not sure if they're looking for another left winger. They've got Gittins as a left wing. Do they maybe think, yeah, do you know what? Let's go for a Kudos. Because if you had Fofana and you could then have Gittins and you could have Neto, who could also be a left wing option, plus Joao Pedro could also be an option on the left as well, if needed. No, Jackson's not suspended. Jackson was suspended for 2 games. He missed the Tunis game and the game against Benfica. Jackson's now back. It was a 1-match ban, which FIFA upgraded to 2, so Jackson is now available for selection. No, I don't think so. I don't think how far we go in the Club World Cup, although obviously the further we go, the more money we get, which is not going to be a bad thing for us at all. Not going to be a bad thing for us at all. And this is also a fair point as well, because Malik Fofana is 20. Quenda will be, what, 18, 19 when he comes. Gittins is 20. It doesn't make any sense to go for Fofana as well and then have, what, like a 19-year-old and two 20-year-olds as left-wing options. Why would you do that? That for me does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. So Malik Fofana is still an option, by the way. Still an option. He won't go to Forest. I'm pretty certain of that, unless he's fucking got unless literally his only choice is Forest or second tier of French football, in which case he might join Forest. But he wants a Champions League club. You know, that much is very, very clear. Bro, Koulibaly's not coming back. Yeah, no, this wouldn't surprise me either. In fact, I think there's a pretty safe chance that Jackson probably will score. Will score. Yeah, smash it up. Smash it up, as Maximum Potential said. 133. We're getting this to 200, chat. Still 266 in the building. Let's run it up. And keep subscribing as well. Road to 20k is in full flow, chat. Road to 20k is in full flow. So keep smashing up the likes and keep subscribing as well if you're new round here. There's actually been another update on Malik Fofana. It's weird how we're talking about players and then updates are coming out as we're speaking about them. Well, we've got an update on Malik Fofana. And this is said update. Kelly was going to go on loan this season. He was pretty much injured the whole of last season. I don't think so. I don't think so, but never say never. That's what I would say. Never say never. But I don't think so, personally. I don't think so. But let's get this Malik Fofana update on screen, chat. Lyon have set a price of at least £51.5 million for Malik Fofana. Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Fulham, Forest, Munich, Napoli are the teams that are interested. So I think we can probably scrub off Fulham and Forest. He's not going to those joke man teams. And then... See, I don't know if Lyon are in a position to demand that. Yeah, exactly. Although there might be a few sickos that are happy for him to stay. There might be a few. I don't know. I mean, look, again, it goes into the... Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a typo or something. Let's see if another tweet has come out or if it's been edited. I don't know why it's saying Napoli in Europe. That must be a mistake. But again, because Romano said that Forest and Lyon had agreed a deal. But I mean, did Lyon? This is my point. Did Forest really agree to spend 51 million? They can't have done, chat. They can't have done. I mean, really? Maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe they did, chat. Maybe they did. But I would be surprised if they're spending that much. I'll be surprised if they're prepared to spend that much. No, it looks like 51.5 million. Let me read this article. I've got it here now. Lyon have set a price of at least £51.5 million, 60 million euros for Malik Fofana. Although the interest in the winger is such that an auction may well develop this summer. All of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Fulham and Forest are in contact about the Belgium international, along with Bayern Munich, Leipzig and Napoli. Any deal is still some way off due to the extent of interest, with Lyon hoping to drive the price up. Fofana has been recognised as one of Europe's most promising talents after a breakthrough season with Lyon that saw him score 11 goals in 41 games. The 20-year-old has also recently become a Belgium international. Although he has mostly been appearing as a winger, Fofana can play across the front line in a way many managers idealise. This has led to significant interest in a series of clubs seeking to investigate a deal. Lyon do need to sell amid financial difficulties that have seen them demoted from Liga, though they are appealing the decision. So yeah, £51.5 million. That's what they're looking for. Nah, bro, Forest aren't getting him. He wants a Champions League club. He wants a Champions League club. Romano said that yesterday. He's not going to Forest. I'd like to hope not. I'd like to think that wouldn't be the case. But again, I suppose these things, unfortunately, can't be ruled out. These things can't be ruled out. Yeah, there's no way they agreed. There's no way. Yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it. Gittins was 55 all in. So yeah, look, it probably is a fair price. Yep, 100%. There's definitely those people knocking about. Yeah, look, 50 million now is pretty standard. It's pretty standard. For any half-decent player, 50 million, for whatever reason, suddenly seems to be the going rate. 50 million quid just seems to be going rate for players. For any player, 50 M's is going rate. Mental. Bro, Joao Pedro is not going to play when he's not even done a training session with the team yet, and it's Wednesday. He's not going to play. He certainly isn't starting. I mean, there's an outside chance he might be in the squad, but I would be surprised. I'd be surprised. I rewatched the 2021 Palmeiras game last night. We had Cho, Ziyech, and Havertz. Yeah, mental. The same as it was against Benfica, except I would just put a Sugu into midfield instead of Caicedo. That's what I'd do. I don't see a need for any major changes. 2 a.m. kickoff, yeah, it's peak that. Really shit. But let's wait and see what happens with Fofana. I don't think Fofana is a necessary signing for us. I would rather go for Kudos. I think that's better. Um, yeah. No, there's no. He's signed. He's done. Yeah, obviously we're just waiting for the announcement. I don't know when they'll do the announcement. But yeah, I'm not that fussed about that. No, I don't think they will. But you never know. I don't think they will, but you never know, chat. You do never know. But let's move away from the attack and let's go to the other end of the pitch. Pedro's done his medical and he's signed the contract. He's done his medical and signed the contract. Let's go to the other end of the pitch because Jay's asked about the Leicester goalkeeper and there's actually been an update on Mads Hermansen. There's every chance Mads Hermansen will be playing in a top 5 European league by the end of the summer with both Chelsea and West Ham admirers. So Chelsea and West Ham are both admirers, chat. Let's see what this is saying. Oh, it's a paywall thing. For fuck's sake. I mean, look, Hermansen's a decent goalkeeper. Maresca signed him for Leicester when he was there, gaffer. Yep, Gittins deal is done. Gittins is done. Pedro's done. We just don't have the announcements for both of them. That's all. But both those deals are done deals. Done deals. So there's nothing to worry about on that front. Both deals are done deals. So we're all good on that front. We're all good on that front. I would say the start of the season he'll be fit. Bro, you don't need to ask if he's better than Sanchez. Because unless they've got one arm, even in that case, they still might be better. Any goalkeeper we're going to be linked with is going to be considerably better, chat, than Robert Sanchez. Considerably better. I mean, now that Leicester have been relegated as well, by the way. Yeah, look, Hermansen's got great distribution as well. Again, look, Chelsea, look, again, it doesn't mean he's going to be signed. We're admirers. We've been linked with him in the past. I'm not sure if that interest is still there. All reports are suggesting that it still would be unlikely for Chelsea to sign another goalkeeper. But maybe we will. Maybe we will sign another goalkeeper. I don't know, chat. I don't know. This is the question. This is the thing. I'm not entirely sure. Bro, anyone can have Sanchez. No, he probably would be more than Manyan. But because he's considerably younger, they would more than likely do it if they wanted it. But the fact he's been relegated, I think you could get Hermansen for 25, 30 million. Maybe less, because, again, as we discussed with goalkeepers, by the way, like 25, 30 million puts you well inside the top 10 most expensive goalkeepers of all time. So there we go. But yeah, look, the Hermansen won't be playing football for Leicester next season. I think that's pretty clear that he's too good for the Championship. But I don't know whether Chelsea will reignite any of their previous interest in him. But he would be an upgrade on what we've got. Well, I might. Let me send him a WhatsApp and ask him why he's concerned. Let me WhatsApp him and I'll ask him for why he's worried about us. And see what he says. I'll see what he says. I don't know if we will. I don't know if we will. I'm not sure if that chapter's closed and whatnot. I'm starting to think that chapter might be closed. That chapter may well be closed. Unless Milan back down and they change their mind and they say, look, we will sell him for 15 million or whatever, then I don't see that happening. I do not see that happening. I've not seen that about Munyan signing a new deal. I don't know if that's the case or not. Is that true? I've not seen anything saying he will. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they will accept the wait. I don't know if they are that fussed. Yeah, the Gurehi thing's strange. You know, we're into the first week of July now, and there's not really been any movement on Gurehi's future. There hasn't really seemed to have been any movement on his future. So that's a strange one as well. I'm not really understanding that. Yeah, I don't really know what the situation is with Munyan and kind of what he's thinking, what he's feeling. Yeah, no idea, to be honest. No idea at all. Chat, we're 35 likes away from 200. Let's get it to 200. Smash the like button, run it up. It really helps me out. And the more likes something is, the more it gets boosted in the algorithm by YouTube. So one click of the thumbs up button is going to really help me. So do get to work, chat. Smash it up. Let's get to 200 likes and keep subscribing if you're new. Road to 20k is in full flow. Yes, we will. We will, because we've got a 20% sell-on clause. We've got a 20% sell-on clause. So yeah, we will get money. Let's have a look. So yeah, Hermanson maybe, who knows? But that would obviously depend on Chelsea reigniting their interest. But let's bring this up. Bayern Munich have added Renato Veiga high on potential 4 options list for new centre-back this summer. Any incoming will depend on Kim Min-jae exit and also timing of the negotiations. There are several clubs keen on Veiga who can leave Chelsea on a permanent deal. The whole Veiga situation, by the way, chap, is mental, isn't it? It's mental. For me, it would be Mark Gurehi. For me, it would be Gurehi. The whole Veiga situation is just kind of weird because he was signed as a versatile player, predominantly to be backup to Kukurea. And then 6 months later, in January, he decides that he wants to be a centre-back. Now, first of all, that Chelsea told him he'd play at centre-back, and we lied. But I'm not sure if we would absolutely do that. But he clearly wants to play at centre-back, and he's not going to play at centre-back at Chelsea. So, unfortunate, talented player, good player. like him, and we could do with him right now. But if he doesn't want to be an alternative at left back, then there's very, very little we can do. And we unfortunately have to move him on. He can play in midfield. He wasn't great in midfield when he played for us in midfield, but something strange. Something strange how he signs a 7-year contract and then 6 months later decides that he wants out because he wants to play centre-back. That's a strange one. That is a strange one for me. But he will go to a very good club. And you could argue he probably is going to upgrade. If he does go to Bayern Munich, then he probably has upgraded, chap. He probably has upgraded. And look, I don't think, if you're going to go to a top team, you're not going to have a guaranteed place anywhere. But you could see Veiga doing very well for someone like Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga. You could absolutely see that. So yeah, interested in Renato. I don't know how much money you'd get for Veiga. What's a decent asking price for Veiga? We have done, but again, I don't see us really following up on that. To be honest, chap, I don't see us following up on that on that interest at all. I really don't. What, Kim Min Jae? No, I don't think Maresca will. I don't think he will. I mean, there's a chance that Sanchez might. Yeah, I think around 25, 30 million is probably fair for Veiga. We paid what? 14 about 14 million quid we spent, or 12 million pounds, or whatever it was on Veiga. I think 25 mil is not bad. Doubled your money in 12 months. I think that's pretty fair for Veiga. 21 years old. He's a Portuguese international now. He's versatile. I think 25 to 30 million pounds is fair. I don't know if I think 40 million is a bit steep. I don't think we'll get 40 million. Look, he had some good games for Juventus and did pretty well there. He did do pretty well there. It's certainly plausible. I think we can make the final, but I have to be honest, Real Madrid or PSG is the most likely scenario in the final, one of those two sides. And you would probably have to say that you wouldn't fancy Chelsea to win in the final, but never say never in a one-off game. And it feels like things might be aligning for us to win it, but we can win it. I personally think we'll fall just short in the final. But I do think we can make the final, chap. I do think we can make the final, which would be massive. It would be absolutely massive. No, I don't see anyone beating PSG either. I think ultimately that's the main issue here. I don't see anyone beating PSG. Yeah, no one's going to be beating PSG. So yeah, but Renato Veiga, again, another player that needs to go on the sell list. Needs to be moved on, but he's got interest, and we definitely won't have an issue, chat, moving Veiga on. I don't think we're going to have an issue moving a lot of these players on. Some players we will have an issue moving on, but I don't think we're going to be having issues moving on a lot of these players. I don't think we will. I mean, yeah, to be fair, I am strongly considering it. If we win on Friday night, the flights to New York might have to be booked. They might have to be. They might have to be booked, chat. It might have to happen. It's being seriously considered. It's being seriously considered, and that's what I'll say on the matter. Yes, run it up, chat. Only 26 likes, apparently, until the 200 mark. Keep smashing that like button, chat, and keep subscribing if you're new. I mean, bro, you'd obviously prefer to play against Dortmund. Of course you would. Of course you would. It'd probably be Dortmund, then Bayern, then Madrid, then PSG. I wouldn't call it a free pass. There's no gimmies in football, but we've certainly been blessed with a more fortunate route to the final. But those teams we're going to face need to be respected. Those teams need, you know. Yeah, look, Botafogo did beat PSG, and look, they're not unbeatable, but they are comfortably the best team in world football right now. They are a joke. Yes, you can beat them, but then that Botafogo game was very much a one-off, and it certainly wouldn't be applicable sort of in the final. Bro, Al Hilal are decent, you know. They're not bad at all. They're not bad at all. Same players that didn't have a particularly good season last season. Simone Inzaghi, top manager, he's got them playing some really good football. He's got them playing some really good football, chat. Some really good football. Yeah, Bayern's attack is a joke. And you can guarantee if we played Bayern Munich or whatever in the final, yeah, look, the Brazilian teams, certainly. Yes, big up, brother, big up. Yeah, sure. He did lose 5-0 in the final, but that Inter team PSG just tore them apart. But yeah, I think Bayern will be out. PSG should beat Bayern Munich. You'd expect that. But again, that's a massive game. Difficult game as well. Difficult game. So yeah, what else? What other interest? What else have we got popping off, chat? Because, yeah, we're into July now. Things are starting to happen. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Bro, if this is about Veiga, we've already done that. And if it's something else, let's have a look. Yeah, bro, it's Veiga. We've done that. We've literally just been speaking about that. 100% we will. 100% we will. Yes, big up, bro. Big up. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Yeah, look, if we get to the final, that's exceptional work from us. Exceptional work. And if you lose to a PSG or Real Madrid, you know, again, depends on the circumstances. But if you lose to a PSG or a Madrid, it is what it is. You know, but but making a final would be outstanding work. It would be outstanding work, chat. There's no denying that. It would be absolutely brilliant work from us. I thought PSG and Bayern were on the same. They are on the same side of the bracket. Yeah, they're literally meeting in the next round. Yeah, we'll see. Yes, big up, big up. Yeah, 3 years ago, totally different Chelsea team, totally different Palmeiras team. But yeah, I'd expect us to beat them. But they can't be taken lightly. And absolutely, one-off game, anything can happen, which is why you've got to be serious. You've got to be serious, chat. You have to be. Right, we're 20 likes away now. 20 likes away, still over 200 in the building. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Keep smashing the likes up. Let's get this to 200 likes. We're 20 away. How much money would Chelsea get if they get to the final? I think if you get to the final, I think you make like 100 million basically if you get to the final. Something like that. %, absolutely massive. It would be absolutely massive for us to get to the final. I mean, look, you make your own luck at the end of the day. You can't control what happens in the other games. You can't control that. Yeah, mental. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. Yeah, Joao Pedro's registered. Yeah, we know Pedro's registered. He's going to be in the squad. Potential debut Friday. We see. I'd like to think so, but that's not an easy game. That isn't an easy game either, chat. That's also difficult. I mean, I really hope we don't get a situation where Esteval scores and dumps us out. I really hope we don't get that sort of situation, but that can't be entirely ruled out, chat. That cannot be entirely ruled out. Yeah, I won't be pleased. Well, no, look, I don't think it's quite as simple as that. No, I don't know. I think we're serious about this. I think we definitely want this. So, yeah, it would be mental. I mean, technically, he's not our player yet. He becomes our player after the Club World Cup. So he's technically still a Palmeiras player. But yeah, obviously, he will become a Chelsea player after the Club World Cup. He will become a Chelsea player after the Club World Cup, chat. Nah, once you get to the knockout stages, like shit gets serious. I mean, there's a trophy on the line. You want to win it. You do want to win it. You want to be the team that wins the first edition of this. You want that. You want that gold badge on the chest. Yeah, 2 a.m. Saturday morning, the game will kick off. So it's 9 p.m. local time. Yeah, of course I'm a Chelsea fan. I don't know why people think if you wear another team's shirt that you're not a fan of Chelsea. You know, I would never wear another Premier League team shirt, never. But yeah, this is a Kante shirt at the end of the day, anyway. So it is Chelsea related. Yeah, they're 2 days off after the Benfica game. They're 2 days off after the Benfica match. I didn't watch it, but I wouldn't be surprised. You know, you got to work on your recovery. You got to work on your recovery. But yeah, chat, it's going to be. Nah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, obviously there won't be the weather. There won't be any weather delays because it's on the opposite side of the country. But yeah, obviously with that comes the shit kickoff times for us. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. But there's not really too much of an update on that. There's not really too much of an update on there. Yeah, maybe he was. Maybe that winning mentality is now starting to work. Maybe it's starting to work, chat. Maybe it is starting to work. Yeah, guys, 8 likes away now from 200. Keep smashing the like button. Let's get this 200 likes rolling. Smash it up, smash it up. Yeah, bro, needed to be done. Needed to be done. Yeah, well, anyone that's not Chelsea will be hoping that we don't win the trophy. Anyone not Chelsea will be hoping that we do not get our hands on this trophy because it'll be over for them. It will be over for them. They'll be absolutely finished. You know, we will. No, we're going to have a shirt sponsor, chat. We are going to have a shirt sponsor. Let's chill out on that. We will have a shirt sponsor. Yeah, I agree. We definitely need a shirt. We definitely need a better goalkeeper. I wouldn't call it embarrassing. It'll just be a major disappointment. A major disappointment. Well, we shouldn't be losing to Palmeiras. We shouldn't. You know, we shouldn't, but you never know. You never know, chat. Right, let's see if has anything come in. Bro, that's what we do. That's what we do. Yeah, can see that being a distinct possibility, chat. Can see that being a distinct possibility. That we probably lose in the final. Considering he's suspended, bro, no. Unless we want to field a suspended player and get chucked out, then yes, he's not going to play in this game. Yeah, I agree it is as well. I agree it is as well. No, because it's a team from another country. So absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, could well be. Could well be. But chat, I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to every... Yes, Esteban Willian will play. Big up to every single person who's tuned in this afternoon. Thank you for all the support. It's greatly appreciated, as always. Make sure you smash up the likes on your way out and keep hitting the subscribe button as well, chat. Road to 20K is active. Make sure you're smashing up the likes. Subscribe if you're new. 2 likes away from 200. So let's get those final 2 on the way out. Let's wait and see what the next 24 hours has got in store for us, guys. I'll be back again tomorrow with all the latest Chelsea news. So make sure you stay tuned in for then. Enjoy the rest of your day. Whatever you're doing, whatever you get up to. And I will see you lot tomorrow. Smash up the like, subscribe if you're new. And yeah, catch you guys tomorrow. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Love.